All right, your title is Multiplying and Dividing Decimals. Last year, you guys learned how to multiply and divide decimals with whole numbers. We are going to review that very quickly, and then we're going to go over the steps for multiplying decimals by decimals. All right, so to start, we're going to do multiplying decimal by a whole. All right, we're going to use the same numbers for each one. So we're going to do 3 5/10 times 2. Step 1. I'm going to do my notes there real quick. Take out decimal. And record. So by taking this decimal out, we are making it a whole number. So in parentheses, we're writing make it a whole number. So we actually don't end up multiplying decimals or dividing decimals. We do it with whole numbers, and then we put our decimals back. So take the decimal out. To make this a whole number, which way do I move my decimal? Left or right?
Right.
Right. How many times?
Once.
Once. All right, so I put my decimal here, and I record that I moved it one time. Step 2, multiply. Two times 5.
10.
2 times 3.
6.
Plus 1.
7.
7. All right, are we done? No, we have a third step. We're going to put decimal in the product. Okay, what is the product? The final answer. Thank you for raising your hand. So over here, I'm going to put an arrow and write product, so you remember what it is. All right, so how many times, or right now, where is my decimal? Right now, before I do anything. It's right here on the right behind my 0. Okay, so here it is, and I need to move it in how many times? Once. So I move it one time to the left. Yeah. We're doing the opposite of what we did. So 3 5/10 times 2 is what?
7.10.
It's a 7. So it's saying we have 7 ones and 0 tenths. Is that just 7?
Yes.
All right. Do you guys remember how to do that? All right. So decimal by decimal is next. Now the rules are pretty much the same, with just a small change. We're going to use our same numbers, 3 and 5/10 times 2/10. Step 1 is to take out decimals, plural. So I'm going to bold my S and underline it to show that I take out all my decimals. And record. So you're going to make all your decimals into whole numbers. So in parentheses, we're going to write make them whole numbers. So if you're multiplying with 2 decimals or 3 decimals, 4 decimals, you make all of them into whole numbers. Hopefully you're just multiplying 1 at a time then, or 2 at a time, not all of them. All right, before I do step 2, let's move these out. 1 spot to the right. This one spot to the right. Okay, how many total times did I move a decimal? Twice. So I have to combine the 2 of them. Yes, both of them. So this was once, this was once. 1 plus 1 is 2. So when I record, I put a little 2. That's how many times I'm going to move it into my product. Step 2, multiply. All right, 2 times 5, 2 times 3, plus 1, 7. Do I need to do anything with the 0? No, it's in front of my number. So it's saying that I have 0 in my tens place. So since I have 0 there, I don't need to deal with it at all. So I can stop there. Step 3 is to put the decimal.
Put decimals.
Well, am I going to put 2 decimals in my product or just 1?
1.
It's just going to be 1. So even though I moved 2 out, I'm just putting 1 back in. So put decimal in product. So right now in my product, where is my 0? Behind the 0. All right, so how many times do I need to move it in?
Twice.
Good. Once, twice. It's here now. All right, so my new number is 7/10, or 70 hundredths. All right, we're going to speed up a little bit. We're about to run out of time. Dividing a decimal by a whole number. All right, once again, we're going to use the same numbers. 3 and 5/10 divided by 2. Before we start with our steps, we're going to label the different parts. The answer is called the what?
Quotient.
Quotient. Good. Okay. This number that I'm dividing into The other number is called the what? I always forget this one. It is the divisor. So that makes this one the what?
The dividend.
Dividend. Okay, make sure you put a label. Put your labels because we're going to use that vocabulary to explain our steps. All right, step 1. Move the decimal up into the quotient. Move the decimal up into the quotient. All right, so here's my decimal here. Push it straight up into my quotient. Once you move it, you're done. You don't have to mess with it anymore. So step 2, divide. 2 goes into 3. Once. 1 times 2. 2. Subtract, you get 1. What do I do now?
3
2 goes into 15.
7. 5 times.
7. 7 times 2.
14.
Subtract, you get
1.
1. All right, what do I do now? Oh, I added 0. I don't do remainders?
No.
No. Okay, let's make a note. There are no remainders. So what allows me to add that 0? The decimal. If I add the 0 here, am I changing the value of my number? No, my dividend is still 3 5/10. 3 5/10 and 3 50/100, they are equivalent. Bring down the 0. 2 goes into 10. 5 times 2. Subtract, you get
0.
all right, and we're done. 3 5/10 divided by 2 is 1 75/100. Okay, that makes sense. If I have $3.50 and I split it in 2, then I'll have 2 sets of $1.75. All right, questions?
No.
All right, I'm turning my page. 3, 2, 1. All right, dividing a decimal by a decimal is next and last. That's our 5-minute warning. Where's back there? Will you grab it, please? Thank you. And just turn it off. Just stop it. I think it's in my bag. All right, we're going to use our same numbers. 3 5/10 divided by 2/10 now instead of 2. All right, this one requires some more steps. Step 1. Make the divisor a whole number and and record. All right, point to the divisor. Point to it on your paper. This one? Oh, no, this one. Yes. This is your divisor. You're going to make this one a whole number. Which way do I go to make it a whole number? To the right, how many times? Once. And record. All right, step 2. What you do to the divisor, do to the dividend. Okay, now this is important. I don't mean make the divisor a whole number or the dividend a whole number, because I would just say that. What I mean is move your decimal to the right the same amount of times that you move the decimal in the divisor. So I move the divisor 1 space to the right, I move the dividend 1 space to the right. All right, so my new decimal placement is here behind the 5. If this gets confusing to you, then rewrite it. 2 is my divisor, and 35 decimal is my dividend. Okay, step 3, move the decimal up. Move decimal up into quotient. Straight up, there's my decimal. Last step is to do what? Divide. Now we're going to actually divide. 2 goes into 3. 1 times 2. 3 minus 2.
1.
Bring down.
5.
2 goes into 15.
7.
7 times 2.
14.
Subtract, you get.
1.
What do I do now?
Add a 0.
Add a 0 and bring it down. 2 goes into 10.
5 times.
5 times. 5 times 2.
0.
5 times 2.
10.
10. Subtract, you get 0.
0.
Okay, and there we are. We're done.
Thank you.